Here we have section 7.5, solving trigonometric equations. So the objectives, solving equations, we're actually not going to deal with inequalities. So most of these types of equations, technically speaking, have more than one solution. The trig values repeat as you go, as you change the angles. For example, the sine of 30 degrees is the same as the sine of 150 degrees. The tangent of 45 is the same as the tangent of 225. So what you're actually looking for is referred to as the principal values. For tangent and sine, those are the values from quadrant 1 and quadrant 4, so between negative 90 and positive 90. For cosine, you're looking at the values in quadrant 1 and 2, from 0 to 180. There will still be multiple solutions possible, perhaps, just not as many, because you're restricting it. If you did not put any restrictions on it, you actually have an infinite number of solutions, what it mentions up here. So the example problem, so there's just one of them here. So solve sine x cosine x minus 1/2 cosine x equals 0 for principal values of x. So what you're looking for first, since you have more than one trig function, you need to try to factor. So you need something that's common in both terms. In this case, it's the cosine. So we're going to factor the cosine out. So out of the first term, if you remove the cosine, you're left with the sine. Out of the second term, you're left with the negative half. That's going to equal 0. Now, because of the 0 property, anytime you multiply two things together, if one of them is 0, the whole thing is 0. So to figure out the solutions, you set each factor separately equal to 0. And then solve them separately. So to cancel out the cosine, or the sine or the tangent, you use the inverse function. So that adds the inverse to the other side. So you have the inverse cosine of 0. Over here, there's one step necessary first. You need to add, equals positive 1/2. You need to add the 1/2 across. Then you can take the inverse sine. If you let your calculator handle this, make sure you're in degrees. The cosine of 0 occurs at 90 degrees. The sine is 1/2 at 30 degrees. So there's two solutions, 90 degrees and 30 degrees. That's section 7.5.